SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Hello, lovers.
No.
Hello.
Try again.
No, I won't. You know
what?
It's
Hi,
time
lover.
it's time we call this what it is. All right. Hey, so I just thought the coolest headline from this weekend, and I will say that later on in this episode, we're going to do a deep dive on Major League Hockey. So in order to balance that out, Steve, who was graceful enough to fly in on his helicopter this morning, I wanted to say this. Oliver Ekman-Larsson did an interview with a local Coyotes media company. I think it's the Phoenix Group.
Oh,
Phoenix Sports.
it's
Anyway.
4 letters?
Yeah, go Phoenix.
I know.
It's
PHNX. isn't
Phoenix
it?
without the
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a few. They have a whole bunch of outlets, that network. But OEL has a son named Leo.
Oh.
Because OEL backwards is Leo.
What?
And I thought that was pretty cool.
I didn't even think of that.
Isn't that? And I thought, man, that's really, really nice. So OEL, new baby, Leo, OEL backwards.
Did he mention what John Tavares' new number is going to be?
No, he didn't. No, he did not.
Because he's got
didn't
obviously
realize they had the
Tavares
same
has to
number.
give him 91.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
That's how this works.
That is, so it's, his middle name is Phoenix. So it's Leo Phoenix Ekman-Larsson. And I think that's a pretty strong name.
He named him after the city.
Yeah, because he loves the city. And there, what's great about this is he did kind of go in to talk about how great the city is and being reunited with Shane Doan and Brad Treliving. So I highly recommend you check it out. But I just was like, man, there's a lot of Leo strong, Phoenix rising from the ashes strong. And if you're gonna have a hyphenated last name, which is a pain in the ass. I have friends that have hyphenated last names. They're like, I could have just gone with one. One would have been fine.
My wife has a hyphenated first name.
Exactly. Well, last name though, because you got to write it on everything. First names you can just, you know what I mean?
So is his name Leo Phoenix Ekman-Larsson?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a lot.
He can't choose one.
I think he's
Can't be
Leo
like Larson.
Ekman or Larson.
Is it? Yeah. Is it Ekman-Larsson
I think
always?
I think it's Ekman-Larsson always.
Some players have done that.
Yeah. That's what I'm asking.
Matthias Janmark, if you go find him, his draft page on HockeyDB, it's, I forget what the second name is. Magnus Payarvi was a top 10 pick in the NHL. He was Magnus Payarvi Svensson, and then he dropped it. Matt Zuccarello.
Janmark Nyland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt
Nyland's his
Zuccarello.
actual last name.
There's a super old video. I think it's from like my first season. There was a European free agent. And can the Leafs sign him? And his name was Matt Zuccarello Lawson. And it's just Matt Zuccarello.
Wow.
So some people
The Leafs didn't get him, eh?
They, you know what?
Whatever happened to that guy?
He did well.
I heard did he end up in Ottawa?
No. Are you thinking of Fabian Bergstrom?
No, I'm not. Fabian.
Because they got him too, briefly, with the Marlies.
Anyway, I thought that was really cool. Something you should definitely check out. Oliver Ekman-Larsson seems like a delightful guy. And it would be cool to have him as a part of the Toronto Maple Leafs next year.
I have an important question that
I bet it is.
I think only Jesse can answer.
Oh, okay.
Once Oliver Ekman-Larsson announces his number with the Leafs, or the Leafs announce it, or however it works,
Okay.
is it tacky to get a jersey of his with his number, but the nameplate says OEL?
That'd be a little weird.
Would it be? I don't know. I think it's kind of neat.
Because like they have Ekman-Larsson jerseys. Why are you changing the man's name?
To be difficult and let everyone know that you're special and interesting.
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's not, if we're doing cut or uncut, I think it's uncut.
Okay.
That's okay.
Because that's a nickname.
Yeah.
So like what if you had a Poppy 34 jersey?
Nicknames on jerseys I think is fun. The MLB used to do nickname day. Did you guys know this?
What?
They used to have a day where you could wear the nickname on the back of your jersey.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember that?
So
It was
I
like
think a lot of them are inappropropriate, right? It's
No,
kind of difficult,
no.
don't you think? Well, no, like you actually can't print them because, like,
What, baseball player nickname?
No. If you have
What do you
nicknames with your buddies, usually it's like you're.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're not going to use those.
Yeah, they
ones.
didn't use those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do they have a Poppy one? Do they have like a David
Big
Ortiz
Poppy.
one? Big Pop.
I would assume if this was like if it was when he was playing, I would assume.
Would Derek Jeter have something obnoxious like captain?
Yeah, probably.
No.
Yeah.
Boo. Also, if I was a Yankees fan, I'd own 3 of them.
A nickname on the back of the jersey, I don't think is. I think that's fine.
I'm going to go a step further. The Leafs should sell them. They should sell Ekman Larson jerseys and OEL jerseys. Give fans the option.
You know, I think this is like when the MLB did it, I think it's a creative way to get the fans involved. You know, if you want to get one of those, like, I don't mind it at all.
Sell Poppy jerseys. Sell Willie Styles jerseys.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many Leaf fans would buy Willie Styles?
I've seen that before.
Yeah, but they had to get a custom
Willie Styles jersey. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like wouldn't you just? I feel like you would need his permission. You might not even.
I feel like the NHL's too stuffy to actually do that, though.
From William Nylander?
No. Like the Leafs to sell it in their team.
No, I don't think.
I don't know. I don't know how it works, man.
You wouldn't need permission. I do think though it would be kind of funny because the NHL is kind of like some hockey players are like, no, I'm not here to have fun. So it'd be funny from each team to have like all the guys with nicknames, and then there'd be several guys. Like I can imagine a guy like Ron Hainsey being like, no, I'm still Hainsey. On the back, like you know, Matt Matthews comes out, Mitch comes out, Nylander comes out. They've all got their own nicknames, and Ron Hainsey's like, no.
I would get an I'm still Hainsey jersey.
Oh, I like that. I'm
still Hainsey number 2.
So back in 2019 on Players Weekend, the MLB did. You get the nickname on the back of your jersey, and they've compiled a list of the best nicknames that were on jerseys.
All right.
Here's some of the good ones. For the Blue Jays, they'll start at the top. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. had Pina Power Jr. on the back of the jersey and in hashtag form. The Orioles, Paul Fry had Papa Frida. We had Emilio Pagan had Emilio.
Emilio with 4 O's.
Sam Travis had Dr. Chill.
Excellent.
You better be chill if you're Dr. Chill.
Zach Britton had With a K.
That's actually great.
That's funny.
That's a great nickname because he's a pitcher.
Someone on the Now Guardians had Dirtbag. Somebody on the Royals, Scott Barlow, had Scoots Magoots. Somebody had Forgetting Sarah.
Oh, because his name's Evan Marshall.
Evan Marshall. He might not be the biggest Jason Segel fan on the White Sox, but he has to be into the top 5. So he had Forgetting Sarah. That's a good one.
Oh, man. That movie was really
I want the doof. If I was a Minnesota Twins fan, I'd be getting the doof.
Somebody on the Angels had Peach, the Peach emojis.
You can just do that?
Tree.
Or does it say peach tree emojis?
I don't know.
Or was it the emojis themselves?
I hope it was the emojis because that's hilarious.
Spelled out is kind of better, actually.
Any other good ones?
Saying emoji.
We got Jerry for the Jerry Springer show.
Yo, that's funny. Okay, see, these are good.
I feel like every league needs to do this for one weekend.
Oh, man.
Eric Thames had Phone Home because he is Eric Thames and it's ET, so his nickname was Phone Home. These are good.
Man.
Crash Landing, Archie Bradley. I guess, no, I don't know the references there. Chicken Strip. Chub Senor. Don't like that one. And Chuck Nasty will end there. Charlie Blackman's Twitter handle was always Chuck Nasty, so he was on the Rockies.
I love that.
I think this is fun.
That is so
nickname weekend.
That's way better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It's so important to pay attention to more than one sport.
No.
Because you see the fun that everyone else is having.
Yeah.
Come on. It's, dude, licensed to print money.
If you're a Rockies fan, you go buy a Chuck Nasty jersey.
Oh, yeah.
I would love.
I don't 8 of them. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Or a Tulo.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Something generic like a Tulo.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's good too.
You have to have likable players, though, and likable teams.
That would help.
And no, I think it would be wasted on this year's Blue Jays. Not that the players aren't likable, but the team is not it's not a fun team to watch. It hasn't been for a couple of years. Like they're just it's joyless, shitty baseball. And so if you were to do that this year, it'd be like, yeah, all these guys are getting traded anyway.
Steve.
Yes.
Go through every Leaf and name all of their nicknames.
See, I was trying to go through the league in my head and try to figure out what the top seller would be.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think the Oilers would be brave enough to sell McJesus jerseys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be good, though.
Why
It'd
not?
be good.
It's positive.
I don't think you could put Jesus on something like that.
Yeah, but you're saying he's so good, he's like Jesus.
Yeah.
And some people would be like, actually, no, you may not. But like Cooch for Kucherov, Sid,
I like that
Sid
one.
87,
Or right, the kid.
or that Ovi 8, Poppy 34, and Willie Styles 88 would go catastrophically hard.
You would just put Poppy.
What would
right.
John Tavares' nickname be?
Huh.
Just HUH?
HU.
HU?
Yeah, no, we don't need to waste time with that second H. We know it's there. It's silent.
Apparently,
HU.
McDavid's teammates call him Davo.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, or Davo, I guess. Davo.
Davo.
Yeah.
That's
But that's-
incredibly.
So that's probably what would go on the back.
Boo.
You know, I couldn't get over with the Leafs is when Mikheyev said he missed soup or whatever, and then he became soupy, but Jack Campbell was right there.
I know.
And what do they call him?
Campbell was also soupy.
Was he?
Yeah.
Too soupy?
Yeah. He was also soup. Yeah.
They could call them Soup and Toop.
Soup and soup.
And then they could have become the Soup Troop.
See,
They
Natalie
could've been-
Spooner's got the best nickname.
Oh my God.
Spoons.
Cutlery.
Oh, that's
Amazing.
They could have gone with spoons.
Yeah,
They
they
could've.
chose
Yeah,
cutlery.
people, they go with spoons more often.
This would have been one of the best selling jerseys of all time. Imagine a Boston Bruins 33 Big Z jersey.
That's a good one.
Everyone would have bought that. Dude, print money. Why are they allergic to money?
But I can't wait. I can't wait. Like, we would have to, if they did it, we'd have to go through the best ones, like power rank the best ones, but we'd also have to power rank the least creative
Oh,
ones.
the worst.
Like, there could be, especially in the NHL where they're all afraid to be and like show that they're any sort of like, you know, well, I wouldn't want to step out of line. Like
Cutlery.
it would be amazing. It would be amazing. Okay.
I
I'm in.
want a
wasn't
cutlery
sold when
jer-
Jesse brought it up. Now I'm like, damn, I'm all the way in.
Or Pooh.
Poo?
Pooh-land. They call her
Yeah.
Pooh.
Yeah.
Who?
I want a Pooh 29
It's
jersey.
not poo. It's poo.
Pooh.
Because it's France. You know,
I want that. I want that.
I'm just in my head. I'm trying to think of the good one. What's David Comp's nickname?
Nope.
Callie Yarncroke.
Oh,
Swiss Army
Iron
knife.
Hook.
Swiss Army
Oh,
knife.
really?
Iron Hook 19.
Iron.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, because that's what his name translates to in Swedish.
Oh, no way.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there you go.
Which, like, Iron Hook. I mean, like 3 Swedish guys would buy it.
Matthew Nyes?
Ooh, Nisey. See, the Leafs.
That's
don't
be.
have-
It'd be nice.
That'd be so bad.
I know it'd be terrible. They don't have a good roster of those.
Nice.
Here's one. Here's a good one. Mo 44.
That's good. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Mhm.
I think so.
Mitch. Like, you put Mitch on the back.
Mm.
How many of those sell?
You could do Zeus 16.
Mm?
Have his dog. I don't know.
But they don't call Marner that.
Mitch Jishin. It's
okay.
it's a mouthful though.
Yeah.
I don't.
It can fit.
It's not my favorite.
No.
This idea has legs. I'm telling you.
Zadorov.
Big Z.
Big Z. Yeah, well,
No, he's not Big Z anymore. He
Yeah.
plays in Boston.
Yeah.
Big Z.
Remember,
Zaddy.
remember he said in his introductory press conference he doesn't want to be called that anymore.
Yeah.
So that's my question.
Zaddy.
What do you call him now?
Medium.
Medium Z.
No, just medium.
No, just medium.
Stop.
Okay.
So everyone knows.
That's
Or
that-
Zaddy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
All right. Moving on. Hey, you know, one of the questions we asked, but we didn't really dive deep on last week, is who will play for the Carolina Hurricanes other than Sean Walker?
Oh, I'm sure someone.
It looks like Marty Necas will. Because the Hurricanes are likely to hold on to him after a whole bunch of trade rumors. Eric Tulsky said this: "It's a lot easier to make trades before July 1st when teams have flexibility to go pivot and sign other players to replace whatever they gave up." And then he said, he compares that to after July 1st. He said, "We're continuing to talk to teams. We don't want to miss an opportunity to make the team better, but teams have less flexibility now." And I think what he's not saying is everybody left and we gotta have some guys, right?
Well-
Because that's what happened.
All right, here. I want to play a game. Okay. You're a player. You have a contract
Sure.
with my team.
Mhm.
I'm the GM. Ask me for a trade.
Hey, Steve, can I have a trade?
No. All right. That was a good exercise.
Here, I'm Jake DeBrusque.
you-
I'm Jake DeBrusque. Can I have another trade, or can I have a trade now?
All right. Here, let me method act. Okay. Sorry. What were you saying, Jake?
He asked he requested 2 times.
No, yeah, but I want to.
I'd like a trade now. You couldn't trade me before. Now I'd like a trade.
No. All right. Let's do another one. It's we were tweeting a couple days ago, or we were tweeting. I was chronically online talking about Nick Robertson, and just there's so many examples of players asking for a trade, not getting it, and it ended up being the best thing for their career and life.
Yeah.
Ilya Mikheyev asked for a trade out of Toronto. Dubas said, no, stay here. We like you. He stayed here, had the season of his life, fleeced the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah. Yep.
The pen that they wrote that contract on should be in prison. And he's since been traded to the Blackhawks, but he got generational wealth out of not getting traded. Jake DeBrusk, same thing. You know who got their wish? Philip Zadina.
Well,
committed money arson.
Yeah. I mean,
dude, you got to do stuff.
He asked for his deal. He got his deal and then couldn't live up to his deal and was going to spend it in the AHL.
Yeah, but then lit his deal on fire.
Yeah.
So, it could be the same with Necas. It's a little different. His demands, weren't we talking about like $9 million or something for him?
I don't know that it's going to be that, but
I don't think he has that kind of leverage.
He does.
Of course
he's
not.
still an RFA.
He's got arbitration this summer. He had 24 goals and 53 points in 77 games. Maybe his agent will start there and then come down if they're going to negotiate.
I could
see an agent being like, I'm going to be obnoxious. But if we're talking about a long-term deal, is that out of the question? Probably not.
I could see him becoming a player that is that good. Is he currently? No. What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Seth Jarvis also remains unsigned for the Carolina,
which is a problem. I mean, all the players on Carolina have all the leverage.
Right.
But their leverage slips away the closer we get to the season, I think.
One of the more egregious things both of you said recently was that you would do a Mitch Marner for Marty Necas deal. Would you still do it?
Did I say that?
Yeah. Like last week.
I stick to it.
I like the fact that it would give the Leafs cap flexibility more. Like, I love Marty Necas. I think he's a great player. Is he Mitch Marner? Absolutely not. But I'm not looking for straight up value for that. I'm looking for them to, with the cap space, go do something else. But the time to go do something else was July 1st. So now you're in bed, baby. Let's do this one more time. Let's run it back.
I thought the player I talked about was Clayton Keller. The amount of Leaf fans telling me, no, he's garbage. I'm like, okay, so you just haven't seen a Coyotes game for like 5-6 years.
CJ was sitting right here.
Yeah, I think
and it was Necas?
You guys were going back and forth, and then he proposed like, oh, there's something like the Marty Necas deal, and you guys both emphatically said, yeah, I do that for the cap space and Necas.
Yeah. Oh, it was 1-for-1?
Yeah.
And you know what? Yeah, I'd do it.
So, no, I'm asking you, so you can change your mind if you want.
You bet I can't. No,
now you're
the man of integrity.
You still think that'd be a adequate deal?
I mean,
like if they did that tomorrow.
Well, okay, so here's the problem. Any Marner deal where all the Leafs get is cap space right now would actually kind of stink because there's nobody to use that cap space on at the moment. Daniel Sprong just signed for under $1 million because
he needs to fire his agent.
No leverage.
No, he's also not very good.
He's pretty good.
No. Outside of putting up like 45 points on the bottom two lines of a forward group, what does he do?
Okay.
Because he doesn't kill penalties. He doesn't play defense. He's literally just points.
He's your classic offensive guy who's a defense.
He's new Ryan Dzingel.
Ooh.
Because what did Ryan Dzingel, weak defensively. He scored 20 for the Sens. Yeah, because nobody played for the Sens.
Yeah.
He had to score.
That's not a terrible comparable.
That's
so when I saw that it ended up he got under $1 million, I was like, it kind of makes sense in that you can't just be a specialized low scoring offensive player in this NHL. Like, you're not very useful to many teams.
He's also not very big either.
That was the exact point I was making when you guys are shocked that he only got $900,000.
So I didn't tweet about that. I just want to say I didn't tweet about Sprong because I didn't have an opinion because it's July and I was outside.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, were you outside?
I was outside.
Yeah, I would love to be able to sleep train outside, but I can't.
No, I wasn't
right?
talking about Twitter. I was talking about like 30 seconds ago.
Oh.
When we were talking, I don't know about your tweets. I was talking about
He was tweeting
literally
about it this weekend.
when we
was.
just said it.
I was
Steve was on it this weekend, Jesse. He was on it.
So you know what surprised me though? So like I know Sprong is like a decent player. He's decent and kind of fun. I've seen his interviews. I enjoyed the fun. I couldn't believe some of the mentions and DMs I got from people going, "This dude stinks."
Locker room.
Yeah. And I'd never heard any of that.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And I'm always amazed how a player's reputation as a teenager, as a literal high school student, follows them forever. I remember years ago when we were going to bat for Josh Hosang, and just the amount of people who are like, here's a story from the U17 team. And I wanted to be like, all right, so that's not a great story. It's also not a crime. It's just sort of rude. And it's from the U17 team.
Yeah.
But and they're bringing up stuff with Sprong from like his time in the queue. And part of me is like, yeah, okay, that's bad. But he's like a taxpayer now.
What
like
is he,
that's
28, 29?
I don't know. Mid to late 20s.
Yeah, like if I'm that age, well, if I'm now and somebody says, "Oh, you did this when you were 17," and like that doesn't really apply to my free agency right now.
No,
Maybe he's still a dick. I don't know.
I don't know. I just wanted to look up his age there, but yeah, I don't like. I understand there's some rumors about him in the locker room and all that stuff, but I don't know if it's from the NHL level at all. It goes so far back. He's 27.
I don't know. I always wonder about the impression I left, like when I was that age.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, we're all stupid at that age. Is that fair?
Yeah.
There should be some stuff that you're allowed to grow from.
I visited a teacher once, and it was like a 8th grade teacher, and you know, I was like, oh, you know, there's gonna be some fun memories. I liked this teacher. I'm sure they liked me and had a great impression of me. And they were like, oh yeah, no, me and a few teachers were really worried about you.
Really?
And I go, why? They're like, oh, because of the kids you hung out with. And I go, what are you talking about?
Who did you hang out with?
Well, and it's funny though, because I was like, what do you mean? And then I took stock and I'm like, oh, this one did a bunch of drugs. This guy went to prison. This guy got busted for breaking into a car. This guy, oh, okay, fair enough.
Okay, this is pre-me then. I didn't hang out with any of these people.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You didn't meet any of them. You met one of them.
Okay, I met one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
With all that being said, I think for under $1 million, Daniel Sprong can be useful for the Vancouver Canucks.
Yeah, no, I want to talk about the 8th grade.
I actually think like it's a really good signing by Patrick Elvian because that's the great value for a guy who's going to play 12 minutes a night.
100%.
Probably less. Like,
and
10
you
minutes,
can move him up to get winger points in the playoffs, so you're not playing Nils Amon next to freaking Elias Pettersson.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what
Like,
they
who's
needed
Nils
was
Amon?
depth. They needed some depth there, and they got it in somebody who can just score and do nothing else.
Yeah.
I'll give you Nils Amon Leaf comparable. It's like when they put Pontus Holmberg with Matthews for like a week.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't, man.
And they didn't continue.
And people are like, what's wrong with Pettersson?
Yeah.
And like, what's wrong with you?
He's playing with a replacement level player.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Not 1, 2. Both wings would be that.
Well,
And it's crazy.
And I think it's interesting that the conversation that I think we had, I think it was last show, about Rick Tocchet and him squeezing blood from a stone, or not necessarily blood from a stone, but he can be the whisperer for difficult players.
Get you motivated.
Yeah. If Sprong's a difficult guy, as soon as I saw him sign with the Canucks, I went, damn it, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if you're worried about the locker room stuff, that's not going to be a problem in Vancouver. I feel like that's a solid place to play for a locker room chemistry.
And if it is, his next team will not be a National Hockey League one.
It's under $1 million. If they don't want to do this, they don't have to do it. If they want to get rid of this contract and just move on from him. So I think it's a fantastic deal at that price, and that's probably what he's worth. They didn't overpay, they didn't underpay. That's what he's worth now.
I am still wondering what the Anaheim Ducks plan to do.
To get to the floor?
They're 8.8.
Are they still not?
Are they still not? Are they not 8.8 million under the floor?
I think they're still below.
What's the plan? What are you up to? Huh? What are you doing? What are you silly geese doing?
It's mentioned like once annually. There's like a Carey Price rumor. where like his contract's going to get moved. Is that the move? I don't know.
Is he still
66.28 million. They're under. That's how much currently they have.
What is the floor? Do you know?
Off the top of my head, the floor is
got to be
I don't
over
have it.
70 at least.
Salary cap floor NHL 61. So they are over.
They're over.
Oh, there you go. They're fine.
Enough.
Forget all that. They're good. They're good. They got to hold on to John Gibson.
Yeah.
No more trade rumors. They need him.
They need him. You can't, even if you retained on him, you can't do that. No, you can't.
Nope.
John Gibson forever. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. All right. Now, let's do a quick recap here on the Major League Hockey and why it matters to us.
Yes.
Because we're about to bring on Brad Elliott Schlossman, who did a full deep dive on this last week. But before we do,
a real journalist.
What's your connection to this?
So I did a video that I regret very much in May, where I talked about Major League Hockey, MLH. It's this new league coming to North America. I got a lot of details on this league before anybody else did, and I was very excited to share them. And I thought I had dotted my I's and crossed my T's. I did obviously not, because I got information the day after that video went up alerting me to some shady things that might be going on with that league. So I deleted it. I was very embarrassed. It was a humiliating experience. But then in talking to some people, Brad being one of them, I wanted to tell him what I knew and see what he knew about this league, alleged league. And it wasn't just shady things about this league. There were some problems with it that could potentially ruin the careers of other professional hockey players and maybe even some amateur athletes. And so I wanted to help tell people what was going on.
So let's bring him on. That was a good explanation. Let's bring him on. Let's talk to Brad. Steve, how important is sleep?
Very.
You know why? You know I'm asking Steve that? Because he doesn't get any. And it's because
it's coming back.
It's coming back. Are you sleep training?
Oh, you bet.
Now he has a daughter who's young, and obviously when kids are young, they don't sleep. Now, how would you like this? How would you like this?
A bed full of rocks?
No.
Oh, no, something better?
No, I want you to have a brand new mattress that is completely made for you from Helix Sleep.
For Isla?
No. For Steve. No, Isla and she's a baby. They're
you
allowed
can put her on the
She
couch.
doesn't get a
Fine.
Helix Sleep mattress?
I'm sure she could have. There are Helix Sleep kids mattresses designed for growing bodies and endorsed by child sleep experts.
There you go.
So listen, all you have to do is get online. You take the quiz and you find out which Helix mattress works best for you and your body. And there's a 10 to 15 year warranty depending upon which Helix mattress you get, and a 100-night trial.
Ooh,
So
wow.
once Isla's ready to go, then you can be like, all right, you know what? I'm treating myself. Brand new mattress time.
I'm going to, in hockey terms, increase my shoes per 60.
That's your Hans shoes.
I'm going to be shoeing all over the place.
And here's the best part, guys. And this is for an offer for every listener, every viewer. Helix is offering up to 30% off of all mattresses and 2 free pillows. Not 1, but 2 free pillows. Go to helixsleep.com/SDP. That's helixsleep.com/SDP. This is their best offer yet, and it will not last long. With Helix, better sleep starts now. The article is called Max Chambers is the man behind Major League Hockey. He has a history of not delivering, and it's written by Brad Elliott Schlossman for the Grand Forks Herald. You can go to grandforksherald.com to check out the article. Brad Elliott Schlossman joins us now. Brad, thank you for coming on the show. And we just had Steve kind of do an explainer about why this story, hits him particularly. Were you aware of this person behind Major League Hockey before Steve talked about Major League Hockey? Or is this something where you saw the video and you're like, man, what's that all about?
No, I was aware about a month before. So someone who I am connected with basically sent me this 27-page brochure that I put within the article so you can check it out, and said, this was passed along. Here's a scoop for you. This is happening. It's being funded by Saudi Arabia is where the money's coming from. This is kind of going to be Live Hockey. And I start going through the brochure, and right away I'm like, holy cow, this is quite a scoop and information. And the one thing that like I kind of sat or jumped out to me that was confusing is there was a line in there that said there were arena deals in place in 16 markets, pending or in place. And so my question to the guy who sent it to me, I was like, how has this not gotten out yet? Because if you're getting arena deals in place, you're talking to the general manager, they're talking to the other managers, they're talking to the booking director, the ice people. Like there's so many people that are involved with booking a rink. And we all know how hockey people talk, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, the walls are Swiss cheese.
For sure. And so like, maybe there's a market where they can, slide under the radar, but there's no way you have 16 arena deals in place. That was the first thing where I just kept asking him, how did this not get out? And then I went and saw the name at the end, and it said 3 names: Max Chambers, Ozzy Chambers, and Peter Young. And I started searching, who is this Max Chambers guy? And I could not find anything on the guy. And I was just so baffled. And then I asked him, how did this not get out? And his response was something, well, I assume some of the big time guys saw this, laughed at it, and moved on. I'm like, okay. So I Googled around on it for a few days, and eventually, I saw a story in the Globe and Mail about Max Chambers saying he was going to buy the Blues. And then I had the background of the Florida teams where he said he had money there. And I said, okay, there's a pattern here. And then I just honestly, it was still in March or April, maybe something like that. And so I'm in the middle of covering a season. I'm barely keeping my head above water. I just kind of forgot about the whole thing and didn't hear about it. And then I saw when Steve's video came up. And for those who, I know Steve has beaten himself up about it for months now, but the thing people need to realize, what the video said is exactly what was being presented to agents, coaches, GMs, and players. That is the exact information that everybody was being told. And so that part was absolutely real, that this is what people are being told. And frankly, I don't think people realize how many people got wrapped up in it.
Well, there was at least one player. It was reported that in the Final Four of the NHL playoffs that was interested in potentially joining this league. There are pro players from around, and Steve, you heard from them right after you made this announcement that were like, "Hey, maybe I'm in Europe or something like that. I want to come home."
Well, this is what made me sick, right? It was one thing to be embarrassed and get a story wrong, be called an idiot by hundreds and hundreds of people while you're at a kid's birthday party trying to pretend everything's okay, an hour later. But what I was more upset about was all these players reached out and they asked to be put in contact with someone at the league. And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. I talked to my source. I was like, who should I, I don't work for the league, but who should I put them in touch with? And I did that. And as soon as I got information that this league wasn't above board, I reached out to each and every one of them and was like, nope, buyer beware. This is bad. This is bad. And as I got more details, speaking to Brad a little bit, I tried to get more information out of them and tried to give them some more information because this was the big problem, and not everyone is probably going to remember all the details of the story, but each team had a salary cap of $30 million a year.
Yeah, that's what they said to that.
Right, for 15 players or something like that, 14, 15 players. And they want NCAA guys, they want guys from the minors, they want this and that and that. So in theory, and this was the worry, players would get offered, let's throw a number out there, $400,000 to play a season in MLH, while they have an offer somewhere in Europe, let's say Sweden, for $250,000. They turn down the $250,000 in Sweden only to discover that the $400,000 that they signed for is not there. It is pure fiction. It doesn't exist. And by the time they figure that out and realize that, they go back to the Swedish team that made them an offer in the first place, and that offer is no longer there. And all of a sudden, you've just lit $250,000 on fire. And these guys are not multimillionaires. Like, these are regular people. Some of the salaries, like $250,000, would be pretty rich for some of these leagues. It would be potentially like financial ruin for these guys. That a lot of people think this was just a silly, goofy story that I got wrong, but it was way deeper.
And what I love about this is you dive deep into this, Brad, and you talk about the Blues offer. I have to admit, I did a little digging months ago as well, or whenever this came out, and that same Globe and Mail article about this guy being what was interesting in that Globe and Mail article is that they were like, we don't know where he got his money. And so he offered $167 million for the Blues, which, by the way, would be a steal in today's dollars. This is 2011, though. The Blues accepted an offer from Tom Stillman for $120 million because presumably they did a little background and didn't find anything. But you actually had to really dig to find the real Max Chambers.
Mm-hmm.
So,
go
ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's to go back what Steve said about a silly story got wrong. But the part that was what you detailed was actually out there. The only part it lacked was the wait a sec. Does this guy have the money? That was the question about it. Every other detail is what everyone was being told. Mm-hmm. Also, like the other thing on social media that we need to make clear before this starts, people who are saying you got money for that story,
Saudi Steve, baby,
insane to me. So like that's the whole part of the story. Nobody's getting money from these guys. Mm-hmm. Not even the guys who are working for them are getting money. So the fact that people came to the conclusion that you are this unicorn, the one human on earth who is getting money from Max Chambers, is unbelievable. And the fact that people think the money, and the reason, I should also bring this up. The reason that the Saudi thing got connected is because once you did the video, a bunch of people retweeted it and said, I'm hearing this is money from the Saudis. And a lot of these people were journalists. And the reason that they said that is because I'm guessing they heard some rumblings of this. And that is what the league was telling people, that this is Saudi money. It got around to people. The second your video comes out, people say it's Saudi money. But of course, as I've dug deep, there is no connection I could find at all to any sort of money source in Max Chambers. Not Saudi, not, anything.
He has referred to himself as an oil tycoon, though, when he was trying to buy the Blues, right?
He did. And then he was like the president of Starleaf Capital. And then he was the president of like Sonoma Equities in this equity firm. And he says there's all sorts of different, he has different stories for how he's made his money all the time. And then as you dig into the league, you start hearing from other people who say, well, I was told the money's definitely not Saudi. This is where the money's coming from. Then someone else says, well, this is where I heard the money's coming from. Now you're like, everyone's hearing different stories. They're not even telling people the same story. So some people were told the money is Saudi. Some people were told it's definitely not Saudi. But anyways, that's where the whole people connected is Steve getting money from the Saudis, because there's no evidence the Saudis are connected to Max Chambers at all. Max Chambers has not paid anyone at all. So I don't know why people decided just to.
It was a bit of a jump, but social media can do that.
One of the things I thought was most fascinating about your article was that there's 3 people working on this, and one of them is his son, Max Chambers' son, Ozzy. And you detailed Ozzy's background in the game of hockey and how he was not named assistant general manager of a team, but went around telling people he was assistant general manager of the team. And just that whole background story to kind of give you a frame of how the Chambers family operates. And I thought it was a great insight into why everybody should be very skeptical of everything they're doing over there.
Yeah. And I mean, even from the top, it's like if people are investing this type of money into a league, why is Max Chambers a guy who we have no knowledge of what his business dealings have been in the past? We have no knowledge of. People don't just randomly give millions of dollars to someone. And people really don't just give billions of dollars to someone. So those were some of the question marks. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, so it's him and a 21-year-old son. I think he's turned 22 now, maybe. Mm-hmm. But either way, it's just people with that type of money make Greg Norman the face of the league.
Yes.
Not 2 people we've never heard of.
And let me ask you this. Did you find anything on what Max Chambers' life is, what he does for a living? Like, do you know anything?
I don't know much. Okay. I have gotten a couple off the record things.
Okay. Well, let's not say stuff that you can't verify, but obviously,
yeah. So then that's why I'm not, but let's just say,
we don't want to do that.
Sorry. Let's just say what?
The things I learned off the record made me believe more strongly that he is not a billionaire. Let's just put it that way.
So what is he?
Or $1 million.
What is he, Brad? He's a guy. Is he a guy who's a good talker? Like good at picking up the phone? Is that all this takes?
You know, so here's how this when I was able to connect a lot of dots. So he's a guy who appears to live right now in British Columbia in near Victoria. So it's him, Ozzy, and then the third guy is a guy named Peter Young, and people actually know Peter Young. He's a well-known broadcasting figure in Manitoba. He's done a ton of sports. If you grew up in Winnipeg in the 80s, you probably know who Peter Young is. So Peter was going to be the director of ops in the reboot of the WHA in 2004. So he knows Max Chambers from when he was going to buy 2 Florida minor league teams and move them into the rebooted WHA, which never ended up happening. Of course, the sale doesn't go through. The question I wanted to get out of Peter Young was, you knew back then he didn't have the money he said he did. Mm-hmm. Why now? Why jump on now? Have you seen any proof that he all of a sudden has this unbelievable amount of money? And we're the other thing I think we don't process is how much $10 billion is. Like for us, like $10 million is like something we can't even process. So the difference between 10 million and 10 billion is just 2 numbers we can't process. But the difference is unbelievable. Like 10 million would make him the 3rd richest man in Canada outside the Thompson family.
Wow.
Like, so
Edward Rogers is worth 11. Like he'd be $1 billion off of Edward.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
He could buy 1/3 of the NHL almost.
Yeah,
like the teams. It's that's so much money, like more than Terry Pagula, and it's so much money. And I forgot where I was going with this now.
Well, you were talking about a man, you mentioned a little bit earlier
how much
about
$10 billion.
How much $10 billion is, and people don't just give that to somebody, right? Then but what happened is he reconnected with Peter Young. Mm-hmm. Peter actually knows people. And so Peter was able to kind of proliferate this idea into the hockey world, whereas Max Chambers, very few people know Max Chambers, and he would not be able to. Peter connected with some agents. He connected with
on the hockey side, and some of those agents were able to proliferate the idea. He was able to connect. He does this side business called Liberty Sports. I found that if you went to the code of the website, there were these buried ads for a few businesses and Liberty Sports. And he also said that in an email, but there are like 5 people who are supposedly with Liberty Sports. And I don't even know what Liberty Sports totally does, because like one is Peter Young, one is like a full-time architect in Minneapolis, St. Paul area. One was like a minor league manager of some really low level baseball team out east. And it was just, but anyways, they worked with this Liberty Sports, and they're the people who like built the website and tried to start. I didn't get confirmed whether they built that brochure. I would guess there's a good chance. And those things started to, like, the website looks fairly good. The brochure looks fairly good. And now all of a sudden you have people see those and think there's something behind it. But he never paid Peter Young. He never paid Liberty Sports, which maybe says, I don't know why an organization would agree to do all this work for free. I never heard of that before. And so, then Peter connected with some agents, and one in particular, a Manitoba-based guy, ended up really contacting tons of people in his sphere. And so now all of a sudden it's out there in the hockey world, and people are hearing about it, and they're trying to get in. Because I think the other thing that proliferated this is people had live golf in their mind. That's fresh in everyone's mind. This happened. Everyone got this easy money. Now it's the hockey world's turn. I'm going to go play 3-on-3 for 20 minutes a night and make $700,000. Like, I don't want to blow this chance. And even after, Steve came out the next day and said, I have legitimate concerns, and posted that. And that did not slow down this thing at all, seemingly. No. People kept going to it. People
even after reaching out to people and being like, okay, that thing I got you excited about, stop being excited about that immediately. And they're like, I don't know, it sounds interesting. I'm like, I'm the one who told you about it, and I'm telling you it's not interesting.
It's the temptation that the millions of dollars might be there.
Yeah.
But I'm still confused here, though. Why does Max Chambers and his son and this other guy, Peter, what's in it for them? What's the goal here?
That's what I would love to ask Max Chambers. But when I called him a week and a half ago, the second I identified myself, he hung up the phone. But, I've had that question for all sorts of things. Why say you're going to buy 2 minor league teams in Florida when you don't have the money to? Why say you're going to buy the St. Louis Blues? Why try to buy the Victoria Grizzlies of the BCHL? And that was another one I just found as I was researching this. I found out that people in Manitoba had known him. I had not seen that covered anywhere, that he tried to buy the Grizzlies. And I kind of found that out. Why? That's a question. Why keep doing this? Why keep saying you have money that you don't? And, I tried to give him and people surrounding him an opportunity I said, hey, show me some sort of evidence that he has the money he does. Show me something that's real. Tell me an arena you guys have booked and signed up for. I can call that arena and verify this. Tell me something. And they had not been able to tell me anything. And they are telling people they have certain arenas booked. I called every one of them, and the response I got from nearly everyone was, I don't know what Major League Hockey is, never heard of it. We've never been contacted about this. I don't know who Max Chambers is. I did hear from one arena in Saskatchewan that said, we did talk to them a while back. We had one single conversation, never heard from them again. They are not playing at our arena. They have not paid a deposit, nothing. So a lot of the things, it's hard I can't sit there and like look at his bank statement and say, this is how much money he's lying. But I can try to verify other things. And one of the things that I can verify is whether they booked an arena or not, whether they've booked any equipment deals or not. And everywhere I turned, nobody had ever even heard of this guy.
Wow.
And it's interesting. They would use, the person who roped me into it would use names to rope me into it even more. But there was one name that he used to rope me in that he was like, you cannot mention this person under any circumstances. And you and I were speaking, and we're pretty sure this is a very high-ranking former NHL executive. And we're pretty sure, or at least have a theory, that there might be legal proceedings because this person never was paid for their work.
There's a very prominent, as I said in my story, there was one, if we're talking about the same guy, he was a former NHL GM and a guy people would know. I know there was contact between them. I don't know exactly what happened with the GM and Max Chambers, but there was contact between them, and the GM will not speak about it. And
like positively, negatively, nothing.
It was, I'm shutting this down right now. And it was, we'll see where it goes. I don't know if he is planning legal proceedings or not, or what's going on, but it was very like an ominous, like, there's something happening. I can't speak to you. And that was that.
Well, if there's a court case or if there's a legal proceeding, it will probably come out publicly anyway. So if that would happen. It would.
And there's, I searched, there's nothing right now. Okay. So I searched to see if there was one. Maybe I don't know if he's worried about the fact that maybe he signed an NDA. This guy made a lot of people sign non-disclosure agreements, which was also very bizarre behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd never heard of that before. Steve had heard of some of those ones, I think.
Yeah. So any players who received information about MLH from MLH were forced to sign NDAs with MLH. And when players asked MLH, hey, should I get my player involved? When players asked MLH, should I get my agent involved? What did they say?
They did not want that, which again,
we don't talk to agents.
It's incredibly bizarre behavior because usually a league would want to get in with agents and want to, hey, this is what we're doing. This is where our money's from. We're going to recruit players, help us get guys to come to the league, right? Like that's a normal behavior of a league. And they don't want anything to do, they don't want any, whenever I called, people didn't want to talk to me. Most leagues want publicity. They want to get it out there, what they're doing. They want to tell people where they got their money from so they can recruit people. And they didn't. They don't want to talk to people. And every avenue I went down to prove that they had any sort of money was futile.
Yeah.
But like Steve said, a lot of the guys that they really roped in are guys who were like on AHL deals, AHL, ECHL tweeners, and they might be making $60K a year.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of a sudden, someone comes along and offers them $700,000 multi-year deal.
Wow.
$700,000 a year. And so these guys are saying, well, that's just so much money. This is life-changing money for me. And you can go to that person and say, hey, there's a lot of red flags here. You should be very careful. You should whatever. And despite all that's been written and all the red flags, in the back of their mind, they still say, well, what if it happens? That's $700,000. Like I'm making 60. Like this changes my life. So a lot of people have been holding out hope that they are going to get this money. And the league has not proved that it has anything. And the people who were associated with it had not done their homework on Max Chambers.
Yeah, man.
And I think some of the people who are working on behalf of the league aren't necessarily bad people. I think they just got roped into something that they got big eyes too and thought they were going to think they're going to get money. And they just did not want to dig into the reality of whether there actually was money there.
Wow. And this story is going to be, I hope it's not one that fades away until this name pops up again, like it has the last couple of times. The last couple of times this guy has come in and tried to buy things, it's kind of just faded into the darkness here. But hard to know where the story goes from here. But really appreciate you, Brad, doing all the research and the effort to go down a lot of pathways that led to nowhere to try to put this story together, because there's very few there, to make a great story, you need to like wrap it up in a little bow. And that's not what this story is. This story leaves a lot of weird, uncomfortable questions.
And maybe this will lead into people actually reading the article that haven't yet. Can you tell us about the opening quote from the article? Because I think it's possible that's how this ends.
So I called the guy who was going to sell the teams to Max Chambers in Florida in 2004. He's going to sell 2 teams to him. The guy's name is David Warrinker. And I called and, identified. I said, hey, my name's Brad Schlossman. I'm a reporter in Grand Forks, North Dakota. I'm looking into a guy that you crossed paths with many years ago. His name is Max Chambers. And the first thing he said, is he in jail? And I said, well, no, he's so creating this league supposedly. And he kind of just went off and said, hey, I think the important quote he said was, make him show you the money. And I'm talking real money, not hypothetical, real actual money. And that is something Max Chambers has never been able to do. And I wish some of the agents or some of the players getting involved in talking to them would really press them on these things and really say, you need to show me. So like, I feel that they just don't want to piss them off. And they think, well, if I piss them off, that might be the end of my $700,000. So I hope people go back to them who have been contacted, both agents and coaches, and say, explain yourself. Tell me, show me something. Show me that you have some sort of money. Show me that you haven't been lying to me this whole time. Because again, like I said, I had not been able to find anything. And the only things that I could prove, they were lying about. They were lying about these arenas they've signed. Part of what took the story so long to come out, I would have a lot of it ready to go. And then I'd get a call and say, hey, I've just heard they're playing in these 3 cities. And I say, okay, well, I'm going to put this on hold. I'm going to fact check this and make sure this isn't true. I'm going to make sure, because what happens if they have booked them? Well, every time it came back that no, they had not booked them. And the other thing I'll say, if you do hear some names of people who are involved with the league, you also have to be careful, because they're telling people certain names of guys who are involved. And I would check in with that person and they would be like, what?
There was a guy who was named head coach of a team, and he was a former NHL player, and he had never been spoken to, right?
Yeah. And then there's a guy who was going to be a GM of a team, and he goes, I had one conversation with them months ago, one, and that was it. I never agreed to do it. Like, that was a guy who's currently in an NHL front office, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, I've never agreed to anything. So certain people that they're throwing their names around, it's not even real. So it's so hard to tell what the truth is, because there are just so many things that are untrue in this whole thing. So, if I'm curious if they're still trying to go with this thing or not.
I was explicitly told Alex Steen is going to be the head coach of the Long Beach team, and he ended up becoming GM of the Blues,
right?
Which is a bit of an upgrade.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah. Well, listen, hey, Brad, listen, what you've put together here, again, it's the Grand Forks Herald. You can see it at grandforksherald.com. Brad Elliott Schlossman is his name. And the article is Max Chambers is the man behind Major League Hockey. He has a history of not delivering. A lot of questions, not a whole lot of answers. But Brad, thank you so much for joining us and clearing at least some of this up.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. And don't be too hard on yourself, Steve.
No.
Babe, be hard on him.
It's in my
Shame
nature.
this man.
It's in my nature. Catholic school, buddy.
AG1. You've heard us talk about it before. You know that Jesse uses it, and look at Jesse. Look at him. Healthy, strong specimen with great gut health. Yeah, that's right. So Steve,
thumbs up for anybody listening.
Steve started using it because Jesse started using
I'm
it.
friends with Jesse.
And now let me ask you this, Steve. That first week on with drinking AG1 every day, what did you feel?
Grew wings.
You grew.
I got a halo. I got claws, but they're like functional, like Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just it does boost your energy, like it says, and I don't really. I shouldn't get too graphic with this, but it makes your tummy happy.
Gut support.
Gut
That's what we call that.
Big time.
Jesse, would you agree with the digestive enzymes?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
gut support.
The scientific term.
Yes.
The poop good.
Listen, if there's one product we recommend to elevate your health, it's AG1. And that's why we've been a partner with them for so long. So if you want to take ownership of it, try AG1 and get one free year supply of vitamin D3, K2.
K2, yeah.
And 5 free AG1 travel packs. Because if you're going on vacation this summer, you might want to bring AG1 with you. Your first purchase, it all comes with it. Go to drinkag1.com/SDP. That's drinkag1.com/SDP. Check it out.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
All right. First thing we got to do is we got to talk about 2 brand new ECHL teams.
Let's go.
We got a comment on our Discord server from Rhyme of the Ancient Marner. Hey, guys.
That's an Iron Maiden Discord title. I respect you. I'm the only one on the panel who would know that, but well done. Thank you.
Care to explain, Adam?
Okay. Oh, it's an Iron Maiden song. It's just an Iron
What's
Maiden.
the song?
Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner.
So this user has named themselves Rhyme of the Ancient Marner.
Yeah.
Very good.
I like that. That's good.
Very good. So they write, hey guys, what are your thoughts on the 2 new ECHL teams? Bloomington Bison, which is the Rangers ECHL affiliate, and the Lake Tahoe Night Monsters, Vegas. They've shown the logos, which I will bring up. There are now 3 teams without ECHL affiliates: Columbus, Carolina, and Utah. So we can name them and place them somewhere after this. But first, let's get your thoughts on the Night Monsters and their jerseys. There you go.
Oh, I like them.
Beautiful looking
I like
jerseys.
Those
Good
are
colors.
It's
like San Jose and Vegas.
Anybody listening? Adam, care to explain what
we got? It kind of, like I said, it looks a little like a mixture between San Jose and Vegas because you've got the teal, but you also have some gold and some black, and depending upon home, away, or gold alternative, the black and white primary jerseys look a lot like San Jose. The gold primary looks a lot like Vegas. So if you can imagine that with a little bit of teal, a little bit of gold, a little bit of white, a little bit of black.
San Jose, but gold.
And the monster logo is a good monster logo.
Oh, it's fantastic.
It's a great why do we
dragon.
not have a monster team in the NHL? Well, you need something that's a monster.
You know, I like that they're night monsters too.
Yeah. No, the day monsters are kind of wimpy. Night monsters are actually like
this part.
intimidating.
There's a monster eye in the middle of the crest on their black primary jersey. That's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, with the mountains in the background. Very cool.
This is really cool.
Yep. Really well
done. Well, the ECHL always does jerseys well.
They do.
Always.
I will always miss the Growler jersey. That's a great jersey.
They are
Yes,
the night
that was a
monsters.
good jersey, yeah.
They're the night monsters because the day monsters are us.
Okay.
Okay. Hayden, if you give me a second to pull up the Bloomington Bisons, I will do that in just a
Bisons
second.
is by the way, solid name.
Bisons or bison?
Bison. No S.
About to say. Oh boy.
Bloomington, Illinois. Right?
I think so.
Yes.
And I looked this up recently.
You don't really remember?
I don't remember why.
Here's a question. Why did you look up Bloomington, Steve?
Because of the...
I was having a discussion with someone, I think it was Hayden, about Matt Rempe, and like he obviously like, okay, should he or shouldn't he fight? He wants to. But if one day he's like, you know what, coach, I don't think I'm going to fight anymore. And it's like, all right, yeah, that's fine. You don't have to. So anyway, our ECHL team plays in Bloomington, Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
What is that logo?
The Bloomington Bison have unveiled their logo.
Why is he wearing a top
I
hat?
am a 10 out of 10 on this logo.
this is
Best
great.
logo. Best logo ever.
So it's for anybody listening, it's a Bloomington, it's a bison holding a hockey stick with blue gloves, a red jersey, red eyeballs, horns like the devil,
A top hat.
and a top hat.
Yeah,
Because it's Red Dead Redemption meets hockey.
oh, okay. Well, now I'm on board. It's also got a map of Illinois with a star to show you, hey, we know you've never heard of Bloomington.
This is where we are.
Isn't that on the flag?
Here's where we are.
Is
What?
that the flag?
Of
I don't know.
Illinois?
Yeah, because they
star
have
in the middle?
the star little thing on the flag there.
Let me find
So you're
it.
telling me that's not where it
Look at the
is?
state flag of Illinois.
No, I'm upset.
State flag there is a star, but it's not quite the same. So there's that one, right? And then
Okay.
they have a new state flag, and it looks like that.
Oh.
So yeah, it doesn't look like that. No, it is
Oh.
actually.
So that's where Bloomington
It
is.
seems as though it might be a map.
I looked it up. It's a hop, skip, and a
Oh,
jump
no.
from
Look up
Springfield.
flag of Chicago.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
Flag of Chicago.
Yeah.
But Bloomington's not Chicago. Boo. Now I'm upset.
Flag of Chicago's, right?
Yeah, that's the Chicago flag.
Yeah, that's kind of.
So it's the Chicago flag is two
right?
bars, two blue bars against a white background, and in between there's 4 red stars.
You
And
want
it
to
says
know?
police lives matter. It's kind of what you described.
You know how
what?
stupid I am? I always just thought that was CM Punk's logo.
Did you?
No.
So stupid.
Like right now.
That is incredible.
Did you learn something like right now?
Yeah, I just learned that.
That's amazing.
No,
I
way.
had
That's the
no
flag of
idea.
Chicago.
I don't know what the Toronto flag looks like, or do I? Maybe I do. I don't know.
No way.
I don't like
don't know
cities.
that? You don't know
Who
that?
cares what their
That's the
flag?
flag
You know
of
that flag?
Toronto.
Oh no, I know that.
Yeah, you know that flag.
I also just thought like, oh yeah, it's the City Hall logo or whatever.
So I think it's interesting that the Bloomington Bison have the flag of Chicago colors with a star kind of there. It's the same color, right? The blue.
Here, hold on.
And the star is different though.
Blooming
What about the Bloomington Punks?
flag.
The Bloomington CMs.
The CMs.
Yeah, even the city of
Bloomington
Bloomington
Phils.
flag does not look like that. So that's just their own thing.
Maybe it's just a coincidence.
It's
Maybe
a-
maybe that's a complete reach.
It sounds like a quinky dinky. Yeah.
I mean, it makes more sense than it being CM Punk's logo.
No, that is my favorite one. I'll leave it at that.
My favorite thing about sports logos in general is when the mascot is on the crest and he's in the logo, but he's also doing the sport.
Yeah.
I love that. I love when the anthropomorphic animal is there
Big
playing
word.
the sport of that they represent. That's so cool. So the fact that the bison is holding a hockey stick, awesome.
It's incredible.
It's the top hat for me. It's completely unnecessary. But
No, the top hat, yeah.
necessary.
Listen, if you're going to play some hockey, you better show up to the rink in style. And that's what he clearly did.
You better go home. It's like forgetting your skates.
Oh, yeah.
You need your top hat, stupid.
That's
Do you
right.
think the Leafs should ever move to a talking leaf that plays hockey? Like
Yes.
a scary leaf hockey?
Yes.
That holds a stick
They
in a
should.
stick going
And that
crazy.
wears a top hat and the spikes. You know how the Leaf logo is 3 like points at the top?
Yeah,
So the top hat obviously covers the big point in the middle.
obviously.
But then the 2 other little points come out of the top hat like the
So
bottom.
you can't just steal the Bloomington.
Yes, you freaking can.
Guys, that
No,
could
so-
never not suck. A leaf.
It would
play,
be awesome.
It could
I-
never not
I
suck.
think
It would
the
look
Leafs-
like cheesy
One
crap.
day, the Leafs should go to an alternate logo where they have a leaf playing hockey.
So what if they're
I
going to
agree.
do it? Then they have to make the mascot too, and he's got to have a fake gladiator duel with Carlton at center ice during one of the intermissions.
No, they can
For
hug.
gladiator
They're friends.
supremacy.
They're friends.
Or do you just make them the classic kid mascot where all they do is this? And they like
Yeah,
sort of
they're-
bounce a
Yeah.
little.
And they're wearing
That's
gloves.
decide.
Yeah.
If you're-
Hayden, did you want to say
I was just
something?
going to say, you said a leaf. Why not just Carlton? I said
No.
you could Carlton.
No, because
But
they're
with the
Leafs.
top hat.
With a top hat, of course.
No, but Carlton can't be the logo because you couldn't go with something that's
Why
not
not?
the actual because it doesn't make sense.
I want a Carlton jersey.
Yeah, that's not what we're talking about.
No, he wants the anthropomorphize.
I want the name of the team to be the crest and the little animal or the leaf to be playing hockey.
Didn't the Marlies really briefly have an alternate jersey that had a dog, like Duke the dog?
Well, yeah, that's why Duke's
Duke
there.
I'm not sure.
Was Duke on the logo?
Now I'm trying to remember what's real life and what's video games. I don't actually know the answer.
Duke's an awesome mascot too.
Duke is a wicked mascot.
Duke's good.
Love Duke.
It doesn't appear as the...
We met Duke, right?
Yeah, we met Duke.
Yeah.
Duke, you tried to get Duke to dab at the time.
Duke's actually 86.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what? I do see a James Reimer game-issued Marlies jersey.
Yeah! I forgot about that.
It's rainbow.
It's not rainbow.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
I'm sending it over here. I sent you the Google search. You can play. It is real, Steve. Wow, it's real.
The Duke jersey?
I'm so happy.
And it's from the era where they like had no stripe at the bottom of the jersey. Which
Now,
just
did
makes me
they?
mad.
Was it like a warm-up jersey, or did they wear it in a game?
It says game issued.
Oh.
That doesn't mean they wore it during the game, though, does it?
That is a good question.
Why
Why would they wear that in warm
Duke the Dog alternative third jersey purchased this jersey 3 years ago.
Oh my gosh! Look at this.
Yeah. I love that logo. I forgot about that.
Wow, 2010
What?
season.
What year is it?
2010 season.
2010.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
They made Reimer wear 31? I don't remember that. But I believe you.
This
Look
is
at that.
insane.
Yeah, baby. Dude, minor league hockey is the best.
And
And horrible.
They had a
And the
McDonald's
best.
patch on it.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Reebok jerseys, by the way. Those are Reebok.
Yeah.
With the God, I forgot how terrible that Leaf logo is.
I
Oh,
want
it's so
this.
bad.
I want this. This is amazing.
Yeah. Well,
How much is it?
It's
you have to
sold a
sign
long
it
time ago.
Yeah, it's sold a long time
Yeah.
ago, but you'd have to sign it at Worth Point to find it. I don't even know what that is. But anyway.
Do you want to summarize the description there? Because there's a lot of info on the jersey.
Yeah, it's mostly about the guy's story, to be honest. But essentially, the guy is So there was the entire lineup was available. He said, this is not game worn. Jersey was issued for James, however, was never worn. I believe he was still in reading with the Royals.
So it's not game.
Letter of authentication included.
So it was game.
These Duke jerseys are quite popular and look great with the Leafs logo on the shoulders. No. Huge jersey, goalie cut, Edge 1.0 Reebok jersey material. Name, numbers, plates, also absolutely huge because it's made for a goalie. Super nice jersey. Unfortunately, I'm selling because I need the money. Yeah, so that's
Okay,
basically
so he didn't actually wear it in
game
but
issued, not
game
worn
issued.
by.
Okay.
But
And then-
signed by. That particular one is signed.
And last follow-up to these ECHL teams, Columbus, Carolina, and Utah don't have teams. They're the only 3 teams in the league without ECHL affiliates. Can you guys give me names for each of those teams?
Columbus?
Mm-hmm.
Who is it?
And I got to give you a city.
Sure, if you want. That's a little more difficult because you're just picking a random city. In Ohio. Like, I don't expect you
Okay, I'm going to say Dayton, Ohio. Dayton.
Okay.
Dayton.
Now you have to do the city.
Dayton Dinos.
Damn.
The Dayton Dinos.
Damn.
Oh!
I like that. Wait, so we
9 out of 10.
We got Ohio taken care of. What else we need?
9 out of 10. So Carolina and Utah.
What's another city in Carolina? Well, you've got the Charlotte Checkers, right? But
The Columbia Blue Jackets.
no.
Why not?
No.
7.
No.
7 out of 10.
Columbia, North Carolina. Is that in North Carolina or South Carolina? I don't know.
South Carolina.
I don't know the Carolina.
Columbia,
that well.
South Carolina.
Okay. Columbia, South Carolina.
Columbia.
You know what? You could
I don't know.
do a play on like university. Like, wouldn't it be fun to do like the bookworms?
Awful.
And then have like a book
Awful.
with like a little worm coming out with a hockey stick.
The Worms playing hockey.
Yeah, and he's studying up.
I'd do that. That's
Columbia
that's not bad.
bookworm.
8 out of 10.
Okay, all right. I'm getting 8 out of 10.
Yeah, no,
I'll settle
okay.
for an 8 out of 10.
Steve, what are you doing?
Well, I was doing the Columbia Bees because it's got B in it.
Like
Columbia. I couldn't think of it.
Four.
Wait, which
4 out of
farm
10.
team is this for?
4 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll take my 8.
That's a 4 out of 10, Steve. Columbia Bees? What are you doing?
I know, I hate it. Oh, wait. The Carolina waterspouts, because they're smaller than hurricanes.
That's not, one isn't like a weather occurrence.
A waterspout?
No, a hurricane.
Yeah.
What does that have to do with a water spout?
It's a mini hurricane.
No, it'd be like rain or shower or like light drizzle. What are you talking? 2 out of 10.
Columbia's doing
Water.
What are you talking about?
Like, doesn't that come out of the water? Like, out of the ground?
yeah, like a faucet.
No, like it's like it's a small tornado
Why not,
on
like,
the water.
What about the Columbia?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
No,
What is
I'm
a
learning
water
something
spout?
today.
What is a water spout?
I thought you meant like a faucet, like just a hose with a water
No.
spout.
Didn't you guys take elementary school science?
Oh,
No, I didn't.
Whoa.
it's a whirling column of air and water mist.
Oh.
A 9.5.
Yeah.
That's creative.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Even though it's kind of
Hey, we learned something.
yeah 9.5 because you
All right.
taught us lots.
Also, kind of looks like the logo when you see a picture of it. It looks like the Hurricanes logo.
And what city? What
Uh,
city do you want?
Columbia.
that'd be Columbia.
Columbia. You got to talk to the mic.
Columbia.
And then
All right.
Utah. All right, so
Utah.
9.5 out of 10.
All right.
That's a good one.
Name another city
Utah
in
me.
Utah. I can't.
Or another city in. Oh yeah.
Hold on. Can I
Utah
look up
is
city
the
names
state.
in Utah?
Yes. So because Salt Lake is
Utah cities.
is that
Salt
where
Lake,
the
Cedar
arena's-
City, Park City, Ogden. Ogden.
Ogden.
Ogden
The
Bob.
Ogden Bobs.
the Bob Ogden.
Let's go. The Ogden
Um,
Bobcats. We got it. We got it. Nailed it. 10.
How can I hate that?
Adam, you got to come up with your own.
Cedar City is another one.
Cedar City trees.
No.
I think you would do Lumberjacks, wouldn't you? Cedar City.
Lumberjacks is a good hockey name.
Yeah, because then you got the thing, but
Yeah.
instead of an axe, it's a hockey stick.
Yeah, he's holding the hockey stick.
right. And,
yeah,
and I think he'd have a muscle. And it would have a tattoo.
It'd be fun
With the
too. 'Cause
state flag.
Once a year,
Yes.
you have the giant, like say it's like the charity game or whatever. You're selling off the jerseys, and the jerseys are plaid.
Absolutely, they're
Like
plaid.
that's a
Absolutely.
go-to. You know.
And
Okay.
if Lou Lamoriello's team shows up, they have to show up in plaid suits.
There you go.
And be no fun.
Yeah, be no fun.
You know what's great? They would just show up in black suits.
Yeah, they probably would. He'd be like, "Yep, no, we don't like personality here.
Yep. No.
Shave your beard."
All right. This question comes from Mateo CYT. Which GM has the most aura?
Mateo, how old are you?
Has the most aura? That's a good fucking question.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is
great
good
question.
That's a great.
Stop hating, Steve.
No, I know.
Oh, I got to answer a question.
No, Mateo's
No, I
right.
know.
Mateo's right.
I know, I
That's
know.
a legit question. Most aura, Bill Zito.
No.
Hmm.
What?
Like aura, as it like that guy's got. There's a force of personality there. Do you not think?
Steve Yzerman is Steve Yzerman,
Yeah,
which is, I think, pretty,
yeah. Joe Sakic.
pretty big aura. Joe Sakic? I think anybody who
Like how are we?
played-
How are we defining aura? Define aura for me in this context.
You know what aura is. Aura is itself. It's aura.
I won't lie to you. Kent Hughes. I wish
Kent
that I wish
Hughes?
I didn't have to say Kent Hughes.
Yeah.
Nah,
I
because
don't
he
know.
says so little. And
That's not
he
bad.
just
Okay,
his
A
team hasn't
distinctive
won for like 3 years,
a
but all the
distinctive-
fans love him.
and pervasive quality or character, air, atmosphere, aura of respect, responsibility, or of friendliness. So aura is basically whatever you are, like times 10. So like you're this kind of person, but everybody knows it the second you walk into the room,
How isn't the
rather than
first,
having to get to know you.
so the first, second, and third answer is Lou Lamoriello?
It's Lou Lamoriello.
Is
I
it
was
Lou?
gonna
He's
say
got the
that.
most aura?
Lou.
Yeah.
Lou. I don't know what we're beating.
Who's two?
I mean,
Where's Kyle Dubas in the 32 GM?
he.
ranking?
You know what? Kyle Dubas does have an aura. It might be an aura that can be extremely inspiring and at the same time irritating. I think both can be true. Kyle's got an aura, but I think a lot of Kyle's aura is the aura that is placed upon him by us in the media. I don't know what Kyle the guy is actually like.
Jeff Jackson's somewhere up there.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, the more we get
based
to
on
know
how
him.
it's gone for the last 10 months. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's up there.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Though I could name more coaches with aura. GMs are harder to read.
That's why it's more fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I'm still putting Bill Zito in there.
Yeah, no, I think we got a good list.
Julian Breezewell's got a
The
bit
top
of a...
ones.
Does Kyle Davidson have aura?
No,
No.
he's just a dude.
No,
He's just a guy.
I like Kyle Davidson a lot, by the way.
he doesn't have aura.
Him like answering those questions in Nashville at the draft was still hilarious.
Yeah, but that's not aura.
No, that's not aura. That's just a dude.
No. All right.
Moving on.
New ranking. Which GM has the most Riz?
Shut up.
If we're talking Riz, Kyle Davidson might be on the top of the Riz.
Kyle
list.
Davidson. Yeah. Yo, I got to
He's
give.
the young one.
Can we talk Bill Armstrong a little bit?
You think he's got
Bill
Riz?
Armstrong is like he reminds me of like a character from Fallout, like pre the bad stuff happening. Like he's like a modern 50s guy.
Yeah.
But he's like super tall and he's got the coif hair and perfect teeth.
I feel like in an alternate reality, he's like the poster boy for like every shitty Sigma TikTok you've ever seen.
Yeah. Except he's a good guy,
Yeah. Well,
apparently. So
I don't know.
Does Julian Breezewell have Riz?
Shut up.
Based on how the Stamkos negotiations went?
I wouldn't say Julian Breezewell is going to riz you up. I don't think he's going to riz you up.
Not Riz dog.
No, I think
This is the oldest we've ever been.
Stevie Y, by the way, funny
Riz?
guy.
He's got
Funny
Riz? Yeah.
You guys remember that clip? He hit that clip with I think Paul Bissonnette and the TNT panel where they were a couple of years ago where they were talking about something and everybody just started laughing. I was like, oh, Stevie's funny. Like, and then I got to interview him with Alan and I'm like, oh, he's actually like a really funny guy. So yeah, I'm gonna say that.
I'm going to add Doug Armstrong to the aura conversation.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Doug Armstrong's got good aura. Yeah.
There is a
He's
presence.
got aura.
Heft. All right.
I'm also going to give him Riz.
Brad Treliving was not mentioned in either conversation.
I think Brad's a dude. I actually think we'd all like Brad personally.
Yeah.
Like I think he seems like a really fun
Riz
guy.
and aura?
I would love to get a beer with him. And also, Adam.
We don't even have to talk Leafs. I actually think he seems like a fun guy.
Yeah, I think he would have things to say about things that aren't hockey.
Yeah.
Which a lot of hockey guys like,
Brad's
can't do.
Brad's watched a TV show and consumed popular culture.
And had an opinion on it after.
Yeah. No, for sure. He's a funny guy. I like him. I like that Brad Treliving, I'll give him this, is one of the first GMs in a long time, I think since Pat Quinn, to have a sense of humor about the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yes.
like think of the line of general managers since. Which one of them has made a funny haha joke? Like Brad's like, he's self-deprecating and I like that. Now, we'll see if the decisions work because that's what I like the most.
Yeah.
I like him as a person.
Patrick Alvin? Negative Riz? Positive Riz? Negative Riz?
Negative risk. I couldn't.
Negative aura?
I know how to. I couldn't. Listen.
Is it because someone
Doesn't mean he's dumb. It doesn't mean he's bad. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that, like, I don't think.
Is it because like Rutherford's above him? So like
Rutherford's he's got aura too. And I think it's like when you're a winner, you got to have, right?
Does that make Alvin a GM cuck?
No. What's the matter with you?
Because there's somebody ahead of him. So like he's because he's the GM, but like the president's on top of him.
No, man,
so.
he's the acolyte. He's the understudy. He's getting there. He's just, he's biding his time. He's waiting for Jimmy R to finally retire, which will happen in 7 to 10 decades.
So he's a follower.
For now.
Beta behavior.
He's not.
Beta.
Yo, is he
Beta
he's
GM.
not a beta.
Is he a beta GM?
Is he
That's a better one than cock.
Yeah, beta.
Yeah.
Dude, I walked in this room 36 and I'm going to walk out 93. Good Lord.
Jesse, I think
We got to ask the important question.
This is what we do.
This is from Christopher. How many extra items is acceptable to take through a checkout lane that specifically has a limited number advertised?
None, you fucking monster.
So if it's like 9 items or less, you're like, if you have 10 items, you're stupid. You can't go through.
Well, no. Okay. I don't judge people. I don't go,
You just did.
and be, well, yeah, privately, but I'm not going to go, excuse me, sir, and be like a narc about it.
Karen, yeah.
Yeah, I said narc. It's just not something I would do.
Okay, I have a
You
question.
would be 9 exactly. Because
Yeah.
you're better than everybody.
Correct. I'm better than, and also a girl dad.
Okay. Adam.
Makes
I
me
have a question about the
even
checkout
better
line.
than.
Yeah.
Can I just raise this? Does item denote category? Meaning,
What?
let's say I walk up to a cash register. I've got 3 apples, I've got 9 lemons, and I got 2 pears.
That's 3 things.
Is that 3
You
things?
are
See, that-
all on drugs.
Because all of those go in like a bag.
They
As
go in a
one-
bag.
That is different.
They're literally
Yes.
scanned
That's
as
okay.
one item.
That's
what are you
okay.
talking about?
So that's 3 items, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's literally in
if
a
I have
bag, put on the weight, and you pay it for one item.
A
What are you
bag of
talking
20
about?
apples, bag of 20 pears,
It's
bag of 20
one
lemons.
item.
You didn't say bag though. I'm picturing fucko over here
no,
going
yeah.
boop.
Oh, no.
No. That's.
I just wondered. Okay.
like a dozen eggs. You can't be like there's 12 eggs.
Excuse
in
me,
there.
there's 12 eggs in
that's
there.
right.
Yeah.
That's why you. That's kind of what you asked.
Yeah. So it's per barcode.
Sure.
We're talking
Yes.
about per
There
barcode.
it is.
Okay.
Or scan.
So
Got that.
if you had 12 items in a 9-item lane, are you upset? Are you doing that? Are you
I'm not calling anyone else for it, but I am not going in that lane.
You're not doing it.
No, because
Fair.
I don't know. There's lots of stuff in life to feel bad about. And I don't want someone making me feel bad about that.
You don't want somebody else possibly.
If somebody
judging
calls
you.
me
I
out,
agree.
then I'm going to be like, you're right. And I am kind of am a dick for this. And like, there's certain things where you're like, do I want to be a dick for this reason? I can be a dick sometimes. Like, I'm sure I've cut people off on the road and stuff like that accidentally, whatever. You all right?
yeah, excuse me. Sorry, the camera wasn't on me. I tried to hide it.
Being a sneezy boy?
That was just a little.
But yeah. I would say that, Jesse, I don't want to be that guy. I will wait in line just a little bit longer and I will be a little bit later. What
I
about
agree.
you?
No, I'm not busy. Like I go to the self checkout. I'm pretty quick with the self checkout too. Like I feel like I'm.
What about the codes though? When you do fresh fruits?
No,
the codes-
they show the little pictures. You know what I mean? You could just type in the name. Like I'm good at that.
I want to know if Adam is the lady on TikTok who's like, I have kids, so I'm not returning the shopping cart. I don't care.
Oh, that was a big controversy. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not returning the shopping cart.
she's not nice.
You're not a serious person.
Yeah.
I've had.
Yeah, listen, just because you had a kid doesn't mean that you don't have to follow the exact same rules that you did
I know.
before.
I've had kids for 4 years now, and I've never been like, you know what? I'm just gonna free ball life. There are no rules.
You ever
now.
jump on an airplane and have your kids spill popcorn everywhere and be like, why do I have to clean this up?
Is that feels very real?
That's a Blue Jays pitcher that was bitching about that.
Oh, I forgot about
He had
that.
so I guess his wife was on a plane on her own, and one of the kids just blew up popcorn everywhere, and the flight attendants were like, "You're gonna have to clean that up," and they're like, "Why?" And that was like a whole thing. This was like 2 summers ago. And
I'd be like mortified. I'd be like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry.
yeah, can you give me a bottle? Like whatever. And they were like, what's? And then so he starts tweeting about it, and then tweeting about the airline, and it's like,
You could have spent that time tweeting, cleaning up the popcorn.
right? He didn't end up on. Weirdly enough, he got the let go from the team.
Oh.
Just weird.
And now the Jays are way better.
They're so much better. Look at them, last place in the division. Gotta love it.
What pitcher was this?
I forget what his name is. He was a reliever, I think.
Oh,
And I don't think he wasn't like let go for that reason, but
Pat Henkin.
not Pat Hankin. I love Pat Hankin.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.